Hey guys, it's Practical Psychology here, and today we're going to be going over a book about the science of persuasion, and this video is going to be presented by my friend Will. I'll talk more about his channel at the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoy.
The most well-known book on the science of persuasion is without a doubt Robert Cialdini's book, Influence. It's well referenced in the business, sales, marketing, and personal development fields. It was the first authority reveal with over 60 years of science the universal biases that cause us to do stupid things, even if we claim we aren't influenced by them. Today I want to share with you the top 10 lessons I learned from his book so that you can protect yourself from manipulation and use it ethically to improve your results in life. The first 6 lessons I learned are the 6 universal psychological biases. We use these as shortcuts in a world of information overload to assume what the best decision is, which often backfires. 1. Reciprocity bias. Have you ever met someone, maybe a religious recruit, who gives you something for free even if you don't want it, and you end up donating money because you feel bad? Or have you felt like you have to invite someone to your party after they invited you to theirs? Well, this is the reciprocity bias at play. Studies have shown that getting something for free will influence us to want to return a favor, even if we don't want the gift. If you were given free mints or fortune cookies at the end of a dinner at a restaurant, do you think it would affect how much you tip? Most people would say there is little to no effect, but studies show that getting 2 rather than 1 mint at the end of a dinner quadrupled the tip increase from 3 to 14%. By making the mint gifts more personalized and unexpected, the tip increased to 23%. 2. Commitment and consistency bias. People want to stay consistent in what they do, say, and tell the public they believe. A study found that asking people to place a small postcard on the window for a Drive Safely campaign quadrupled the amount of people who were willing to put a large cardboard sign on their lawn when asked a week later. This is dangerous because you can end up committing to a belief that is clearly wrong given increasing evidence because of your past commitments. Compliance professionals use this by getting someone to commit to something small and then commit to something larger later on. An example of using this ethically would be if you get voluntary, active public commitments in writing from people ahead of time for a charitable cause before asking them to donate. 3. Social proof or consensus bias. This one is the most well known for the general public. We often look to what the crowd is doing and assume it's right. There are all sorts of examples this is used. A guy walking in with 3 hot girls is assumed to be desirable. And if the stock market is crashing and everyone is selling, you assume you should sell too. Finally, if a bunch of deer start running, other deer run too because they assume there's a predator nearby. Of course, this can lead to foolish decisions. Just because everyone else is doing something doesn't mean they're right. A study on hotels found that by having a sign that said 75% of their guests reuse their towels, increased towel reuse by 26% because it showed people what most other people were doing. 4. Liking bias. People are more likely to agree and believe someone they like, even if they are wrong. Examples of this include assuming someone who is handsome or hot is more correct than they are. 2. Assuming someone who gave you a good first impression is a great fit for a job despite increasing evidence against this later on, also called the halo effect. And liking someone more who makes you laugh or gives you a lot of compliments. A study was done on MBA students that proved this. One group was told to immediately get serious with a mock negotiation. The other was told to exchange personal information and look for similarities to talk about before getting into negotiations. Only 55% of the first group came to agreement. The latter group had 90% that came to agreement. The takeaway is to exchange compliments and look for similarities when you first meet someone. 5. Authority bias. People listen to their bosses, leaders, and higher authorities often without questioning if it's the right behavior. A great example of this is the Milgram experiment, where people actually increased the voltage of shock to the point of killing someone if they were ordered to do so by an authority and told that they would not be held responsible. Studies also show that people are more likely to follow through on fitness advice if they see a certification hanging on the wall of the person who gave the advice. Also, they found that referring someone for advice with an introduction on their many years of experience improved how many deals closed by 15%. So make sure you display your authority, show testimonials, and get people to introduce you the right way to increase believability in sales close. This can be used ethically if you truly have these credentials and really can help people, but have forgotten or never made it a point to display those credentials. To protect yourself, be careful of false certifications or false experts. 6. Scarcity bias. The desire for an object goes up as the supply goes down, even if nothing changed about the product or service itself. Airline industries have stumbled into this. They have decreased the supply of a flight because it was no longer profitable. The few choices led to a surge in sales because of the lack of supply. You can use this ethically by making sure people know there is a limited supply when there actually is, for an item that actually helps other people. Like getting your children to eat healthy food by emphasizing how little food is left on the table and the time limit before it goes away. You can say, "Kids, there's only one plate of food left and it's going to be gone in 1 minute." 7. I learned that these biases are effective even if you tell people about them. Cialdini says that these biases are clearly in effect for all of us, even if you are told about them and believe they will have little to no impact. Many of the flash sales you see on websites or stores create false scarcity or deadlines to get you to buy items. And I might be well aware that I'm being influenced when a hot girl in a red dress sits down next to me and compliments me, but I often let it happen anyways. 8. There are ways of protecting yourself. Set up systems to avoid temptation and influence. For example, set up a box where advice and feedback from your peers are given anonymously so you can't positively bias feedback from those you like. 9. It can be used ethically. There are ways of using these biases ethically. Perhaps you are a kind, trustworthy, great potential mate and partner, but you have trouble showcasing that in your dating life. By understanding social proof and walking into a social gathering with a female friend, other females are more likely to trust you and open up to you. Another example was the hotel tower example. Just by changing and adding a few words to their sign, the hotels saved a lot of money and reduced unnecessary pollution that would have hurt the environment. 10. There are many biases out there, and the more that are in effect, the more they can create bizarre behavior. It turns out that there are dozens more biases out there that influence our decision making. An example would be the bystander effect, where people are less likely to offer help to a victim when there are many people around because the responsibility is spread out. The most famous example of this is the murder of Kitty Genovese, which was witnessed by 38 people, yet no one called the police. Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett's business partner, says that the more of these in effect at once, the more likely you are to do increasingly bizarre behavior. He calls this the Lollapalooza effect.
Alright guys, that was a very simple review of some amazing biases by my friend Will. Now I know the audio wasn't the best and I tried to work on it a little bit, but this content needed to be on my channel. I wanted you guys to see this even if the audio wasn't the best. The favorite thing that I liked that Will did was include ways that you could use these biases ethically, and this is very important. You can check out Will's channel here, and if you like this video, click the like button. Click below or this annotation to subscribe, and thanks for watching.